The devastating flood in central Vietnam has caused severe consequences, causing thousands of houses to be swept away, heavy land loss, and millions of people losing both property and life. Rivers rose and overflowed their banks, creating chaotic and heartbreaking scenes. Rescue and support efforts are being widely deployed to help those affected. At the same time, the whole country is looking towards the central region with solidarity, sacrifice, and readiness to share the burden of the central region people. Vietnam, my homeland, is a country with pristine beauty and cultural diversity. With a long coastline, majestic mountains and vast plains, Vietnam is a place of harmonious combination between nature and people. This country is not only famous for wonderful beaches like Ha Long and Nha Trang but also places with unique cultural heritage such as Hoi An, Hue, and the ancient city of Thang Long, Hanoi. Historic temples, traditional festivals and rich cuisine make Vietnam a must-see destination. With a rich history and heroic anecdotes, Vietnam has overcome many challenges to become a prosperous and developed country. The people here, with a deep sense of responsibility and patriotism, have contributed to the prosperity of the country. The Vietnamese language, the language I love, is an important part of preserving cultural identity and traditions. Besides, Vietnamese cuisine with pho, vermicelli noodles, and spring rolls captivates people's hearts, representing the diversity and creativity of the cuisine here. In addition, I am proud of the spirit of solidarity and sustainable development of Vietnam. Through continuous efforts, Vietnam has achieved many economic, social, and environmental achievements. The 2020 flood in central Vietnam is one of the serious natural disasters, leaving much pain and great consequences for the community. This flood mainly took place in October and November, especially affecting provinces such as Quang Binh, Quang Tri, Hua Thien Hue, Quang Nam, and Quang Ngai. Prolonged heavy rain and storm number 9, also known as Storm Molave, have suddenly increased the amount of water in rivers, causing floods and landslides. Cities and countryside in the area were flooded, thousands of houses had their roofs blown off, and many roads were submerged in water. The 2020 flood caused heavy damage to people and property. Hundreds of people lost their lives, and thousands of families had to evacuate to avoid danger. In addition, many agricultural and industrial areas are also affected, causing great loss to the economy. The government and international community have actively supported rescue work and aid for those affected. At the same time, prevention and reconstruction measures have been implemented to help central Vietnam recover from this disaster. In 2020, central Vietnam was shaken by a terrible flood, disrupting life and leaving unimaginable consequences. In particular, in October and November, incessant heavy rain and Storm Molave created a nightmare for residents of this area. The nights of rolling winds and rain, heavy rain from above like pale white salt, began to awaken the peaceful dreams of the people of the central region. The river, normally calm, suddenly became ferocious and restless like a monster awakening from a long sleep. Provinces such as Quang Binh, Quang Tri, and Hua Thien Hue became the center of an overflowing sea, submerging everything under unpredictable water levels. The gray roads are now submerged in the Black Sea. The rows of small houses have become large islands in the ocean of floodwater. People faced heartbreaking scenes when houses located on hillsides were suddenly swept away, and green rice fields suddenly sank black under fierce water. The sight of children trying to walk through wet roads and salty tears on the faces of the bereaved are unforgettable images. In addition to loss of life and property, the economy was also severely affected. Industrial parks, manufacturing plants, and other important infrastructure were all flooded, deteriorating the economic health of the central region. However, given the loss, both domestic and foreign communities quickly supported the central region by providing supplies, food, and financial sponsorship. The whole country is united. Every step, every small gesture is a motivation for the central region, despite difficulties but never falling, to quickly stand up and recover from this great disaster. Central Vietnam, with the majestic beauty of its mountains and abundance of rivers, is facing an unforeseen natural tragedy: floods. Every year, when the rainy season comes, powerful rivers such as the Hoang River and Quang Binh River become a challenge to the lives and properties of the people here. This year, floods that swept through central Vietnam caused heavy damage, caused thousands of families to lose their homes, property, and even loved ones. Roads became rushing streams, gilded fields became giant seas of water, turning the lives of millions of people upside down. The tragic images sent to the world from the flood zone are not only images of material loss, but also hearts aching for the loss of a community. The people of the central region, who have endured many challenges of nature, are once again suffering from the uncontrollable force of floods. In general, the main cause of this situation is climate change, when heavy and unusual rain becomes a risky reality. In addition, river basin management, lack of flood protection infrastructure, and unsustainable forest exploitation are also factors that increase flood risks here. The Vietnamese government quickly launched rescue measures and support for affected people. But faced with the massive scale of the disaster, support from the international community also became necessary. International organizations and philanthropists around the world are turning to the central region, uniting to share difficulties and assisting in rebuilding the lives of those swept away by the floods. Floods in central Vietnam are not just a problem for the people here, but a deeply felt lesson about the impact of climate change and natural resource management. We need to act now to protect the environment, build strong flood-resistant infrastructure, and strengthen communities to face growing natural challenges. Preventing floods in central Vietnam requires a combination of multilateral measures and strategies, from local to national levels. Below are some measures that can be applied to reduce risks and respond to flooding. 1. Building a flood-proof infrastructure system. Dams, levees, and reservoirs. Building structures such as dams, levees, and reservoirs can help control water flow and reduce flood pressure. Projects like this need to be carefully designed to avoid negative impacts on the environment. 2. River basin management. Landscape control. Protecting and restoring natural landscapes can help reduce land sensitivity to flooding. Primary forests and vegetation play an important role in retaining water and minimizing flood risks. Land use management. Reasonable ensure land use management to avoid unsustainable exploitation and minimize land loss. 3. Warning and response system. Flood warning network. Develop an effective flood warning network to warn residents and local authorities promptly, helping them relocate and prepare for floods. Emergency response plan. Develop an emergency response plan and train the community so they know how to respond to emergency situations when floods occur. 4. Scientific research and development. Research on climate change. Strengthen research on climate change to better understand weather trends and climate change, thereby having appropriate prevention and response methods. 5. International cooperation. Share experiences and resources. Cooperate with the international community to share experiences, knowledge and resources in flood prevention. International organizations can provide financial support and technical expertise. These measures need to be implemented in a synchronous and sustainable manner to ensure effectiveness in preventing and responding to floods in central Vietnam.